as we've had crashes in 82, the 90s, now it's not even been calculated what we've lost in the last few years. Anything that they've contributed to the 8%, 9% GDP has basically been wiped out. So why do we continue to support this system?
Well, I mean, I have respectfully to disagree with the analysis, because it's a huge contribution to the economy that doesn't just translate into bankers' bonuses or whatever. You're looking at the support and generation of employment in a huge number of other downstream sectors, and London leads the world in accountancy, in law, in all sorts of sectors that are completely dependent upon a very, very dynamic, vibrant financial services sector. So what I'm saying is, I understand people's anger, and I understand completely that people want to throttle bankers and string them from the lamppost, and quite frankly,
I think it's the support more than that, actually, as well. It's the support that they get against everybody else. Why do they get supported when actually they're not contributing what we claim they're contributing? Because we all know what happens when the crash happens, and the crash always comes. So that's what people get angry about.
And now that people who work in the public sector are suffering, their jobs are getting cut.
I understand that, and clearly there was a difficult decision that had to be taken by the Labour government about whether or not to step in and bail out the banks. The difficulty with not stepping in, had they not written out these huge checks and effectively saved these institutions from collapse, I'm afraid the whole system would have gone down, and you really would have seen a colossal economic disaster. So you won't boost manufacturing, you won't boost other sectors of the London economy if you shaft financial services, and you say it doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. We happen to be very strong in financial services. The world is always going to need a place where you can efficiently raise and allocate capital. London is good at doing that, and I think I've got to stick up for it. Sorry. So you can have some more time. We'll have some more time. We're in the beginning of a very, very difficult period of negotiation with the government. It's going to be tough, and everybody's got to take some pain. We've got a huge deficit in this country. We've got to, the cost of servicing that debt is colossal, as you know. So people are going to have to retrench in the public sector. The point I've been making to government is not to forget that here in London, we've already been making those cuts in the last 2 years. We've greatly reduced the number of employees in Transport for London, down by 8%. The LDA, the London Development Agency, been virtually halved. I could take you downstairs. There's a sort of Marie Celeste floor here in City Hall, because there's been so many people who've gone off and done other things. And we've been able to make very, very significant economies already. So my message to government is, don't cut London pari passu. Don't cut us by the same amount that everywhere else is going to be cut, because we've already, unlike every other Whitehall department, which was splurging in the last 2 years, we've been making savings. And it is crucial that we keep up our investment in London's capital projects and in infrastructure, particularly in transport.
So you would be in favour of it being ring-fenced then? Is that what you're saying?
It's not bad news at all. I think, well, look, I mean...
I'm from Manchester.
Well, are you?
Yeah.
Have you come from Manchester?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I'm not
But no, but Julie, let me give you a very good argument. Yeah. The best way of boosting the Manchester economy. Should I do you know how to boost Manchester?
Don't tell me, by ring fencing,
London. I know this may sound paradoxical to you, but the truth is that London is, 8 million people. It is the motor of the whole UK economy, and when London is prospering, and when you've got growth in London business, you will also have growth in Manchester. Well, I could provide you. It's going to be a tough point to make, but a tough case to argue with you. But there is a lot of evidence to show that is true, and actually, it doesn't just go for Manchester, but the whole of the UK economy.